President, we will now allow you to respond to question number 12, as asked by the Honorable A.J. Nyambi, who I have been informed they have requested Honorable Ntube to stand in for him in his question. Over to you, Honorable the President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. A major intervention by government in response to the youth employment crisis in the country is the Presidential Youth Employment Intervention, which was launched in 2020. The Presidential Youth Employment Intervention, which is coordinated by the Presidency, brings together the strengths of well over 50 partners to create more pathways for young people from learning to earning. In addition to key government departments, these partners include the Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, the Youth Employment Service, and the National Business Initiative. We have developed a pay-for-performance mechanism that helps local economies to support young people to enter and succeed in enterprises and self-employment. It provides young people with paid community service and other temporary earning opportunities to gain experience, to build their agency, and to contribute to their communities as well. To date, 4.1 million young people are registered and accessing opportunities on South Africa Youth, an online network of opportunities for employment and skills development. Many of these people are young African women and other young people who face exclusion from the labor market. Between April 2020 and June this year, more than 1 million young people have secured earning opportunities on the South Africa Youth Network. Over 1,700 private sector companies are registered on this South Africa Youth platform. Now, these are private companies that search and seek out young people for employment. The Presidential Youth Employment Intervention is integrated with other interventions coordinated by the Presidency. This includes the Presidential Employment Stimulus, which by August of this year had delivered over 1.4 million jobs and livelihood opportunities. More than 80% of these opportunities went to young people. The Presidential Employment Stimulus includes the Basic Education Employment Initiative, run by the Department of Basic Education, which has placed over 850,000 young people as teaching assistants and general assistants in over 23,000 schools in our country since October 2020. Every community has schools, and through this program, every community has had jobs for young people. Through the National Rural Youth Service Corps, nearly 18,000 young people have been trained since 2011 in areas such as agriculture, forestry, fisheries, construction and engineering, and energy, health, and safety and security as well. And this would include in IT, transport, and road management. The Presidential Youth Employment Intervention also includes the revitalized National Youth Service, which enables young people to support development and service delivery in their own communities and contributes to the democratic society. The first phase of the implementation of the National Youth Service saw 47,000 young people engage in community service. Over 10,000 of these young people went on to other opportunities, having been well prepared and trained. The National Youth Development Agency has made progress in supporting young people to make their own businesses by providing them with financial as well as non-financial enterprise development support. Now, since 2021, the NYDA has created over 70,000 such opportunities to young people who are in various forms of enterprise. Now, government's strong partnership approach through the implementation of the Presidential Youth Employment Intervention has strengthened collaboration with the private sector. Our partnership with Employment Youth Service, known as the YES initiative, has to date placed over 119,000 young graduates in workplace experience opportunities, ensuring that young people are able to access their first job and through it gain traction also in the labor market. Nearly a third of the YES alumni have been employed permanently at their placements. Over 1,400 businesses are currently participating in the program. Now, these are business enterprises that have found this youth employment service to be a really good vehicle through which they can offer young people opportunities and in the end begin to choose which of those that have those opportunities can be fully employed by them. We are working to enable self-employment and the involvement of young people in informal micro-enterprises and semi-formal work through initiatives such as the SME Fund. We're also sustaining work experience programs by expanding youth employment service, placement of TVET learners and artisans. Now, these interventions recognize that while government continues its efforts to address the structural constraints on growth, it is imperative in the immediate term to ensure that excluded young people are engaged, they are supported to build their employability and access earning opportunities. The empowerment of young people is one of the key priorities that we have chosen as a government, and we will continue to foster this because we are dealing with people who are the future of this country. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable President. Honorable Nsube, you can ask the follow-up.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair of the Council, Your Excellency, the President. Thank you for your detailed, comprehensive response on the work of the government that is doing to implement a comprehensive youth employment economic empowerment strategy. I think, President, you have really covered the larger part of my question. Just, President, for the benefit of the public, if we can just touch on the government's plan to ensure that our post-schooling education and training aligns with the skill demands of our economy to increase the employability of rates of graduates. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Nsube. Honorable President.
Post-school initiatives are underway, and we are focusing on ensuring that young people who leave school are able to find opportunities either for further learning, for skills acquisition, and it is in this regard that we are wanting to spread more and more of our TVET colleges. And the TVET colleges must be the types that are going to have a number of courses that are going to make our young people employable, so that they learn skills and functional skills, for that matter, that are needed in the economy. And this is a program and a process that we are spreading throughout the country with a great deal of vigor. And we're allocating a lot of resources from various departments of government. And the National Skills Fund is one of those that we are using to foster this process of empowering young people. And as it is now, the National Skills Fund is funding tens of thousands of the training of young people in diverse skills, and some of them becoming artisans, and some of them becoming, getting into skills that are much needed in our economy. So our focus on empowering young people is at a high level, and we will continue to ensure that young people are at the center of many of the initiatives that we embark upon as government. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable the President. The next follow-up will be from Honorable Mr. Dennis Ryder.
Thank you, Deputy Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
So your party's been talking about unemployment for a very long time. Now, the Freedom Charter said there shall be work and security. The NDP mentions unemployment 108 times. In 2009, your party's manifesto promised to reduce poverty and unemployment by half. You failed. In 2010, you set the target at 5 million jobs to be created. You failed. In 2014, your party promised to create 6 million jobs by 2019. You failed. Your 2019 manifesto set the target at 275,000 jobs a year. You failed. Mr. President, in spite of putting so much focus on turning the tide on unemployment, you failed. Now, you mentioned a number of programs that you've established and initiated, which are welcomed, and yet youth unemployment increased consistently from 35% in 1994 to its present 52%. That's 52% statistically and probably closer to 70% in reality. So considering what you've said with these additional programs and the funding that's gone with them, money is not really the problem. It points to a policy problem, sir. So your policies are not working, Mr. President. Will you today agree to do two things, please? Firstly, commit to an immediate relaxation of the stringent labor laws for all job applicants under the age of 30. And secondly, commit to a full review of the labor laws with a view to making sweeping changes to encourage employers to create jobs, rather than strengthening your alliance partner effectively at the expense of the unemployed. Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Honorable the President.
Well, thank you very much. You've cited a number of figures and have underpinned them by saying the governing party has failed and has failed, has failed. The challenge of unemployment is not unique to South Africa, particularly the unemployment of young people. It's a global problem, and it's a massive challenge. And it is something that we should not really play politics about. It's a challenge that is existential for young people. And young people are becoming the majority population in many countries, in our own country as well, as proven by the recent census. And many of them are coming onto the job market year in and year out. And it is a problem and a challenge that we've got to resolve. And we resolve this through a growing economy. We resolve through reforming our economy so that it can attract investors, so that investors can come in their great numbers, invest, and create jobs. This is a process that we are involved in now. We are we've embarked on huge reforms to ensure that investors are more and more attracted to our country and to create jobs. Now, the initiatives that you have said are to be welcomed are aimed at targeting young people and ensuring that we give them a life chance in training as well as in employment. Now, COVID-19 affected our country horribly, and we lost 2 million jobs. And what we've been seeking to do over the past period is to regain those jobs and to create new ones. And many of those jobs have now been regained. And within a year and a half, we have created almost 2 million jobs, which shows that there is capacity in our economy, much as it is facing challenges. And people have commented that our economy is resilient. And we want it to be more resilient, to be the type of economy that can create jobs. And we work, yes, with the trade unions, with employers in our country to make young people more and more employable. And it is those unions that you dismiss out of hand who are more concerned about the employability of young people. And it is why they support the various initiatives that we embark upon. The issue of labor laws, the labor laws that we have in our country are in support of the working people of our country. Working people of our country have forever required and needed conditions that are conducive for them to work well and to be productive. So we have to balance everything. We have to balance having the type of labor laws that can enable 16 million employed people in South Africa to work well, but at the same time to ensure that we open up space for more young people who should be employed. And we've embarked on these initiatives to achieve precisely that balanced outcome. And I would say that the initiatives that we've embarked upon are supported even by business. Together with business in our engagements, we are focusing on how we can enhance the employment of young people. So this is a joint effort. That is why I say it's not a matter to be politicized. It's a matter that we need to work together on. So if you have ideas, if you have proposals, please bring them forward so that we can improve the lot of young people in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable President.